We move to college baseball as the Marietta Pioneers took on Johnson in Wales. Jeff Valdez-Jimenez with a pop-up in right field. Caden Hall tries to get under it, but he can't make the catch. The ball drops, and Jack Ober comes in to score. Wildcats on the board at 1-0. Next to bat is Owen Davis, but Jacob Rocky gets him to go down swinging with the strikeout. That gives the Pios the second out of the inning. We go into the bottom of the first in a 1-0 game. Marietta trying to get the bats going, but Aiden Vinning rings up Cale McGill. He did it in 3 pitches, and that's the first out of the inning. Next batter is Jeremy Tonelli, and he hits a grounder to Zachary Amero. He's going to try to flip it back to Vinning, running towards first, but Tonelli beats it out for a single. Moving to the top of the second, Rocky gets another K. This time he catches Eden Diaz looking. Score still sits at 1-0, but not for long. Later in the inning, Ryan Ducey hits a line drive to right field. That will bring home Xavier Botello for an RBI double, but Marietta will go on to win it 4-3 on a pinch hit walk-off walk from Bryce Bogan.